To Globe Observer Connect. As I said, we are recording today, so if you don't want to be seen or heard, feel free to keep your camera off, and you can put your questions in the chat. For today's conversation, I'm excited to welcome Peggy Foletta. If you've been with Globe, you know Peggy. She is a inspiration to me. We invited her to come today because the Globe data entry system, which has been available for those who were trained in Globe, is now available to everybody. You can take online training and participate in the full Globe program. And we wanted all of the citizen scientists who maybe have only used the Globe Observer app to do clouds, mosquito habitats, land cover, or trees. We wanted them to know what is available to them now that they have all of Globe data entry. And so Peggy is the guru when it comes to Globe and water quality. And I know that's an area that is of interest to a lot of folks. So we invited Peggy here to share some of the water quality or water protocols and some of the things you can do with Globe and water, because she's been doing some really interesting things. So we hope you find this inspirational. It helps you think about how to do new things with Globe going forward. So Peggy, I'm going to hand it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Holly. That was a great introduction. It's just my team's skills are not as good as my Globe skills, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm at Elkhorn Slough National Estuarine Research Reserve now, and we do Globe. And this is where I am located, this little yellow dot. We are in California, in the center, in Monterey Bay, and this is the Pacific Ocean over here, and the ocean enters our estuary, which is 7 miles long, and the little dot is where our 1,700 acres of habitats exists. And I've gone from being a teacher to an informal educator there. We'll move on. Again, it's Elkhorn Slough National Estuarine Research Reserve, and there are 30 of these reserves around the country, and they are all on estuaries, and we are at a site that's also a state ecological reserve because we have so many amazing, unique animals. Here are our partnerships. We are managed by California Department of Fish and Wildlife, and NOAA, who you may have heard of, is National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. They administer all of the reserves, and we have a foundation that is a land trust, and they buy up property in our watershed and bring the land back to sustainable habitat. So we're trying to bring all our wildlife back, and we're a place where people can hike and enjoy nature. I'm going to, and here you can see some of the beautiful organisms and plants and animals we have. And here are a variety of our habitats. In the middle at the bottom, we have the mud flats. We're tidal, which means the water's up and down like six feet a day, depending on the tide levels. And then we have grasslands, we have forests, we have lots of birds, and so it's a beautiful place. We are known for the southern sea otter in the middle, which is was brought back from near extinction. They found 35 otters back in the 1930s, and gradually the population has increased, and the highest population is now in Elkhorn Slough. And so people come from all around to see them, and then a variety of other birds and wildlife. We are known as a birding destination. There's 340 species of birds that have been known to visit Elkhorn Slough Reserve. And here you can kind of see the dynamic changes that occur during the day that all our critters have to put up with, especially the ones that live in the water. And this is the same bridge on the same day, 6 hours apart. So we've gone from a very high to a very low tide on this day. Elkhorn Slough has an education program. That's why I'm there, being an education specialist. And so our goal is to increase the public's knowledge and understanding of estuary habitats and coastal habitats and give them opportunities to encourage resource conservation behaviors. We also have, one of our goals is to improve student environmental literacy and provide opportunities to explore Elkhorn Slough Reserve through activities that encourage resource conservation behaviors. And we also work, and I'm in a large part of this, is increase teacher and environmental educators' capacity to expand their knowledge and understanding of coastal systems. So thousands of kindergarten through 12th grade students participate in our field trip programs each year. And we're K College. And we have several workshops as well, Globe being one, where they learn how to do Globe in some pristine habitats, and they have the opportunity of coming to our site and doing Globe, or taking the knowledge back to their school and doing Globe. So here are 4 of our types of workshops. 2 of them are all about the reserve, and then Globe, and then one's all about data. We have our own system of data, kind of parallel with Globe's system, where every 15 minutes in 4 sites up the estuary, water quality data is sent to a satellite and is accessible to the public. And then we have Globe, which is even much wider. But for local investigations, it's nice to use our data as well. So we are a Globe site, and we have been since 2016. And our goal is to do what Globe does, try to improve, expand, and reach a lot of people. Elkhorn Slough, when the training provides educators the ability to implement Globe, work with students from in all 4 spheres, like in all of your cities, states, and countries. And we introduce interdisciplinary activities and investigation ideas in all 4 spheres. Some, again, they can do at our site, some at their sites. And we have a science team who their whole job is to keep our habitats sustainable, but they work with teachers and students too. And some of our workshops match the teachers with the scientists so that the teachers have an improved background and has a collaborator in the form of a scientist. And Elkhorn Slough, our field trips are, we offer schools 4 activity types. So I did Globe for like 19 years as a teacher, and then coming to this reserve as an educator, I was trying to have Globe activities that are within our field trip time frame. And so I've been working on how to make, in a 45-minute period or an hour period, complete data collection activity with Globe. And we've successfully been able to add canopy cover, ground cover, and identification of land cover in our forest habitat. And it's great to have a reason to take kids in the forest, and that is to measure the ground cover and canopy cover. And we do that year round so we can see what the changes are and share that with the students. And also we teach them about the satellites looking at our site every 8 days. Need our data, student data, to validate what they see. Then we we do a lot of water quality testing at our Oak Marsh Bridge, and this is something I want to talk to you a little bit more about and share with you a playlist that I and my colleagues together put together to help others be able to view how to do some of the hydrosphere protocols. And so I'm going to click on that. Let's see.
We are not getting the audio on that.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
So you may have to narrate it for us.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm just saying that we're going to go down and to the water site and learn about how to do some of the protocols. And so that's our visitor center, and we're going to head on down there. And I'll move ahead here. And so here we're heading down, and we'll be there soon. And then the next thing I will be sharing here is that you need how to, when you get this, there will be audio. and I'm explaining here how to collect the water in the bucket, and that the first three measurements for globe are transparency, temperature, and dissolved oxygen. And I'm giving you the reasons why. We want to take transparency before the water gets disturbed by the students. And when you collect water in a bucket, it can heat up or cool off depending on the environmental temperature if you don't take the temperature right away. And if the temperature changes, that changes the dissolved oxygen. So that's the reason we do these three measurements first. And so let's go to transparency, and we'll just zoom to that. And there's two ways to take transparency, and there's nothing like seeing somebody do the protocol as opposed to just reading about it. And so here, it's a sunny day, and the tube needs to be shaded when you put the water in it, and it's the first measurement you take. So you put water in the tube, and so I'm just explaining about the tube. Look at the bottom is the pattern of the Secchi disc, and it's created by a tube that's made out of a fluorescent light bulb tube holder with a PVC end, and then you just mark it up with in centimeters, and then you shade it with your body, or if you're in the shade like on this day, you don't need to, and then just fill it with water. And so filling it with water, and once you just can't see the pattern, then you go down and you take the read how many centimeters it was. The lower it is, the less transparent the tube is. I mean, the water is. And here I'm explaining what to do if it's on a sunny day. So we have temperature, we have dissolved oxygen, how to do that water quality test, how to do pH, activity, and so conductivity you do instead of salinity if you're a freshwater body. And we have a pond, so here's our freshwater, and so that's where we would do conductivity. So I'm showing how to collect that, and then if the temperature is too hot or too cold in that body of water, you need to take it indoors because the temperature has to be between 20 and 30 Celsius. And when I took it here, it was a little too cold, so I had to take it into the lab. And then I explained how to take the measurement indoors. So you can see that that's there. Now, if you have salt water like I do, also, there's a salinity protocol. And so I'm explaining here that critters that live in salt water have to put up with not just salt water, but estuary water is a mixture of fresh and salt water. And so the critters have to put up with figuring out how to survive in those conditions. And so back here, I was showing how our plant there, the pickleweed plant, and I don't know where that is on this video offhand, but the plant has the ability to move all the salt up to the tips of the plant, and then it dries at the tips and the salt comes off. Fish have different adaptations. I'm explaining those here, that fish, they have to adapt or they have to move. And so these are the water quality videos that do come with sound. And there's a number of them here. So I'll go back to.
I think those would be really helpful for people who want to take water quality data and haven't done that before. So I'm glad you shared that. Thanks.
Okay. I'm glad to do it. Now I need to. So we do both fresh and salt water there. And so we've adapted an activity where they not only take the water quality, but it's a good idea to take weather conditions at a site that you visit. So that, like scientists do, what are the surrounding conditions of your site? Take weather measurements if you can. What are the clouds? And using the Globe Observer app, it's so easy to do that. And I just love the fact that now the Observer app allows us to input the data directly while we're in the field. I could have used that 30 years ago. Of course, 30 years ago, Globe was doing a pretty good job for that time period. But yeah, the Globe Observer app has really evolved into something even more wonderful. And so here we are on our bridge having students collect data, and they can input it. And that has been a problem in the past, is that students collect data, put it on data sheets, and then got to find a time to put it into the archive. And I have to say, I'd have a stack of data sheets that start stacking up because we didn't have time to put it into the archive. And then our decision was, do we stop and put this data in with our time, or do we go out and collect more measurements? And now we don't have to have that problem because of Globe Observer. And Holly will tell you more about those details. And we also do a soils activity, and we've just narrowed it down to comparing the 3 different kinds of soils we have, which are the black, muddy estuary soil, which the black means there's a lot of organic material in it, and that it is a great sequesterer of carbon. The black means there's a lot of carbon. So all estuaries are, when things die and they're underwater and they don't have oxygen, they turn directly, the carbon turns directly into just black and stays in the estuary for millennia. And so that's another reason estuaries are important. But we also have our forest and our grassland soils, and they have they do get some more oxygen and water, but they have different properties too. So we have our students do soil characterization, and we work with the teachers one-on-one about what they want to do when they're on our site. And so I just described these activities, so we'll go on. And then we also do carbon in the forest. And here you can see some students that were doing carbon in the forest. There's quite a bit to doing that. I have a link here that allows you to run through on your own and we have tried to shorten how to do globe carbon in this PowerPoint. You need to find an area in the forest that's 90 meters by 90 meters uniform, so that the satellite can read the top of that. And you need to find the middle pixel, 30 by 30 meters, and then identify all the trees, mark them, and mark them at the DBH, the diameter rest height. And we painted a line, and at that line is where you take the circumference of the tree. This activity is for kids who have a little bit better math background, so usually older kids do this activity. But the measurement is, well, the coolest part, because they get to go in the forest. And then they get to do the circumferences of the tree, and they have to do that carefully with the teacher's guidance. And then they can determine the diameter. It's a mathematical equation. And then you're guided in the protocol to, depending on the species of your tree, what the formula is, what the mathematical equation is for that type of tree. And you follow the steps. It's not as hard as it looks, but I like this diagram here. It kind of tells you that you need the diameter, and then you need the equation, and you can determine the biomass of your tree. And half of the biomass is the carbon, so that's easy. Take half of that and add all of the trees up and divide by the area and you have the carbon storage per meter square. And so this is available to you when or if you decide you want to do carbon in the forest. If you are interested at all in freshwater macroinvertebrates, now I'm switching gears. I'm going freshwater. We'd love you to join a project called Macro Mappers. It's a worldwide globe collaborative. Students in grades 4 through 12, like that's 9 through 18 years old, that identify a water body to collect, analyze, and share their macroinvertebrate data with partner schools from around the world. That's what you would do in our project. And so we have a Padlet, and I'll just share that for a moment. We'd love to have you join. Also, there's a link in the slides, and I think Holly's going to share the slides with you.
I certainly can.
That'd be great.
If you're willing to share it with me.
Yeah, I'm willing to share it with you. Absolutely. And there's a link here from a meeting we just had with the whole group from around the world last Monday. And here's a link for registering your class. This could be put in the chat.
Yeah. Do you need to be in a school to participate? Can a citizen scientist join this project?
It's generally for classes. I suppose if a group, like I'm a volunteer at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and I have a Tuesday second shift. We're a group of citizen scientists. Right. You could possibly join that, but at this point it's been 4th through 12th grade classes.
Okay.
So let's see. I want to share the Padlet. So this is the way it's run. We have, if you've ever seen a Padlet, we have columns. And each column, the third column on has a school name at the top. It's their column. So like Fayetteville Christian School, they are in the Northern Hemisphere. This is, if you've heard of climatograms, this is the climatogram for their water site. And that shows the precipitation through the year. You can see that this school with the blue bars has a lot more precipitation than this school. And the red line is the temperatures, average temperatures per month. And you can go across here and see how different the different places weather or climate is. And so the activity that we were trying to get people to put most recently is the autumn to winter seasonal markers. How can you tell your seasons change? And so they'll actually click on it, and the students will comment about how they're, that it starts snowing, or these bird species appear. We're asking for 5 ways winter is here. Or in the case of, we have southern hemisphere, and that would be, how can you tell it's summer? And it's interesting for all the students to see that, this is the whole world. We're not doing the same thing at the same time. We're wearing jackets, they're wearing shorts. And those are some of the things that the students can put here in their column. And so the questions that they're answering here about their school and their water site are asked over here. So this blue is the seasonal marker one that I just described. And then the next one is information about your class and school. And here she describes the class. Information about your water site. Describe your water collecting experience if you've had a chance to collect it. Not everybody's had a chance to collect macroinvertebrates yet, but some of them have done water quality, and then we get to see that. And then we want them to tell their water story and share that with each other. And if schools are interested, we can pair them together and have Zoom sessions between them. And before we leave this, I want to click on the map that we've developed showing all the schools that are in the project right now. And we can zoom in on a school. Over here, we have one in Bhutan, and they have a lot of rainfall. And so their site, this is their water body, and they put pictures in here. It explains how to put the pictures in. It's pretty easy. You just click on the camera and download a picture, and then it shows up here. And so you can do that. And so that's Bhutan. And we'll look at one other one before we go back to what Holly has to share with you today. And so here is Alpena Middle School in the United States in Arkansas. If we go into preview mode and find a school, let's take this school in Argentina. If we click on, we can get their pictures bigger and we can see it. We'll go back. So this is where they're located, and you can go down and see their water site on the map, or at least approximately where it is, probably over here, or maybe that's their school, and then the pictures that they've taken. So that in a nutshell, we can give you URLs to some of the presentations we've made so that you learn how to do these things to join our project. So if you're interested in registering, the URL is right here, and a link to our slides from last Monday are right here. And I will share this with Holly, and then she can make it available to you.
Yeah, I can just put that URL in the event on the Globe Observer website. So where you went to learn about this Go Globe Observer Connect, it'll be in that event, and I'll put the recording there as well, so you can watch this again.
Okay.
We can also send it out via email to everybody who registered, so you have multiple ways of getting it. Thank you so much, Peggy.
We'd be so happy to have you join us.
Yes. I think it's so nice to get a sense of the array of Globe protocols, of things that people can do. One thing that I appreciated is that looking at water quality may not be just testing water, that you're also looking at the land cover, what's around the water, you're looking at the soils, you're looking at the trees and the carbon. Like it's all, I mean, of course, it's all part of the same system, but it really the way you presented it emphasized that to me. So thank you.
Okay, well, thank you. So let's see. So I need to, what, stop share?
Yes. Yes.
And now I need to find out where that is.
So if you go to your Teams window, it should be on the top right.
Teams window.
So while she's navigating there, if you have not used the data entry in the Globe Observer app, it should show up right on the top as soon as you of your homepage. As soon as you open the app, you can tap Globe data entry, and then you can tap hydrosphere to get to water, and then you will see the list of all the things that you can do. When you select the one that you want to do, say you're interested in water temperature or whatever it is, you tap on that, and then it will say, have you taken the training? Because we're not going to just toss you in there and assume you know what you're doing. We'll give you resources to learn how to do that. You have Peggy's wonderful videos to help support that, but there will be a URL there that will bring you over to the training page. And there's an online training for each of the protocols that you can take. Once you've gone through that online training, and they're not super long, but they'll tell you step by step what you need to do. Then you can go back to the app and you can just say, yes, tap a yes in the app that you have taken that training, and then that protocol will be open to you to enter the data that you collect. And you can do that right in the field, or you can jot it down on a data sheet or a piece of paper and come in to a different environment where it's easier to see your screen, perhaps. You may not want your phone out on the water, and you can enter that data then. So you can do it at the time or later. So we're excited that you have that option now, and we know that as you get going and doing that you may have questions. So feel free to reach out. There's the question mark in the app that you can go to. You can go to the contact us on the Observer website or the Globe website. All of that will bring you to people who can help. So thank you so much for coming today. I'm happy to see you here. Yes, thank you for your presentation. You're getting accolades in the chat there, Peggy. Our next Globe Observer Connect, I should have been prepared, is on March 19th. Let me just make sure. Is March 19th? Yes, March 19th at noon. My apologies. They changed the date a couple times on that one. So, and in that event, we're going to be talking to some folks from NOAA and from Synoptic Data, which is an organization that takes the globe data and brings it into a database that makes it accessible or to meteorologists with other meteorological data. So it's a way that your data is being used by meteorologists, and they're going to report out on, they've been doing this for a year now, so they report out on what's happening in that database and how your data has been used and what the future looks like for that. So it'll be very exciting. March 19th at the same time, noon Eastern time. I believe it is 1600 UTC. And then we will have a special Globe Observer Connect the following week, where we will learn about the Blowing Snow campaign, where meteorologists also from NOAA will be talking about using those blowing snow observations to help verify and validate a new satellite data product that will help future folks know when blowing snow is happening. So that will be exciting as well. So keep an eye on the Globe Observer website for all the details on both of those. Thank you so much for coming today, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you all, and thank you, Peggy.
Thank you.